Woot woot. And smile, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I guess afternoon for some. Good morning here on the West Coast. So we will let people trickle in here and then get started. Let me make one quick change here while we're waiting, since I did not update. It's right here, so you guys can see it in real time. Just so no one's confused. Yep, so we will just wait about 10 more seconds here, then we'll jump in. So you saw the demo first screen. You are not on the demo, you are on the getting started. So that's going to be our topic for today. Excited to walk through just kind of the process of getting started using the registration site. Yesterday we went through a demo of the CT6 registration site. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, the link has been posted on the support site, so you can take a look at that. And I'll show you that here at the end. So we'll go through here. So our presenters for today are myself, Andy, and then Chris, Jason, and Lynn are also on the call. So they will be helping out along the way. So our agenda is, so we're gonna have our introduction, what we're doing now. We're gonna go through basically the plan of how you can launch CT6 registration site. And there's a couple steps. Obviously, you can adjust this plan as needed for your organization, but this is just want to kind of give you a starting point of kind of some steps to take and things to think through before you launch your site. And then at the end we'll have some Q&A time. So on the webinar there's a Q&A button at the bottom, and if you want to ask a question, go ahead and add that there. Jason, Chris, and Lynn will be kind of moderating those, and we'll have some Q&A time at the end where we can go through those and help answer those for you. So awesome. So we'll jump in here and kind of walk through the different steps to develop your plan for coming up with launching your registration site. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on my video here just so we can focus on that. So really there's kind of 6 steps to go through. So you can see those listed there. We'll go through them one at a time. And we'll also jump onto the registration site so that we can show you how to customize, update your content fields, generate pre-filters, things like that. So so first step is going to be determining the events that you want to launch with. So there's kind of 2 schools of thought. One would be just to launch to your early adopters. I know you probably have customers that are always on top of when you guys come out with new things. So basically the idea would be to find that select group of parents or families that you want to launch the site to, and then send them the link to be able to jump in and start using it. The advantage to that is it allows you to gather the feedback and make adjustments before launching to all your customers. So if there's as you're getting it set up, just how you communicate it and all those kinds of things, you can kind of test it on a smaller group and then use what you learned and then have everyone use it. One of the disadvantages of that is obviously just it's just a slower process to get everyone up and running. So it's going to take just a little bit longer to do that. So the other option would be to other kind of school of thought would be to launch to all your customers. So basically just come up with a plan to communicate it to all your customers at the same time, and just switch from the using the existing site to the new site. The advantage of that is, basically people are going to be able to use mobile first. Some of the kind of the pain points on the existing site that are resolved with the new site, you can, people can just start taking advantage of those. One of the disadvantages is that, some clients, or sorry, some of your customers are going to probably struggle a little bit with that, just because, anytime they change systems, it's, there's questions that come up and things like that. So depending on kind of where you're at, you may want to, lean away from that option. So, and there's other ways in here, which ways you could go in terms of how you roll this out. But this is basically the first step is really just determining who you're going to launch it to and what events you're going to do it for. So step 2 is testing. So this is a part on your guys' end for your team to go through the registration site and really just getting familiar with it. And kind of the first thing, obviously to test, we need to know where we're going. So there's 2 different links similar to the existing registration site. And we've renamed them just a little bit. So your test site is going to be called Sandbox going forward, and then you have your live or production site. So to get to your Sandbox, it would be sb-events.circuitry.com and then your company name. If you don't know, most of you, obviously where you work, but kind of what Circuitry calls your company, and what your company name is in our system. An easy way to find that is just to in CT6, click on your name, and you can see the name there. Basically, it's just this without any spaces in it is going to be your company name. So you can use that to access your Sandbox, and your Sandbox is going to be pointed to your test database. So I would start there, and go through and do some test registrations, and then your live site is going to be pointed to your live database. So pretty straightforward there. If you do have a custom domain, I'll show you here at the end where you can submit an issue to support, and we can help you get that set up. So if you want to set it up as register.mycamp.org or something like that, if you want to use a custom domain, or you can just use the events.circuitry.com. So, and the one advantage of that is, you don't have to update your SSL every year, different things like that. We managed all of that on our side. So, yep. So yeah, so part of the testing process, once you have that link, you go into your Sandbox, would be to go through and just test those events that you selected in the first step. So basically those would be the ones, say you're gonna do one of your kids camps. You're going to go through and run through a bunch of registrations in your Sandbox to be able to kind of just get familiar with it, but then also go through and think of any questions that your customers may have. So just thinking through things. If something changes, there's probably going to be a question, because someone will go in and say, well, how do I do this, or how do I do that? And so just thinking through that process can really help as you launch, to be able to help people do that. I know, so I used to work at a camp, and when we switched to, I think it's when we switched to circuitry, we had a customer call up and say, they were like, I need to log in. Like, I know my password. Like, well, why doesn't this work? Like, I did this last year. And I was like, well, actually, this is a brand new system, and, like, no one's logged into this yet. So like, I know for sure that, those kinds of things were like, no, I'm certain that I've done it. So even people who, the seasoned veterans of your guys' community, even just changing what the login screen looks like, can cause questions, but once they figure out that first step, they'll be able to get in. So the other thing too to think of is go through the test registrations with kind of a mix of new and returning families. So start just by creating an account and go through what a new customer would experience, but then also do from a returning perspective as well, just because there may be some things that are you may get questions that are different for each one. So, and then it helps you just kind of understand how the process works and, get more familiar with it. So, awesome. The next step would be to customize your site. And so this would be on your live site to be able to update kind of the look and feel to match your marketing site. And this is one of the cool features in CT6 Registration Site is that we've given you guys a lot more control over being able to update those colors, add a logo, different things like that. Where before, all those changes had to kind of run through us. We've given you guys the tools to be able to do that, to be able to update those things. So, so we're going to jump in here and I'll show you a little bit of that, and then we'll come back here to the presentation here in a minute. But basically, to get to the admin site, so basically it's going to be just events.circuitry.com / your company, so whatever your company name is, and then /admin. So that's going to be how you can access that. So I'm going to go here, click our fancy link. So actually I'm going to go to this one here. So when you go to so right now I'm in Sandbox, but you would be doing this in live. I mean, you can update both if you want to test it out. But since for my database I only have the Sandbox access. So I'm going to come here to my admin login. So this is going to be just your circuitry username and password to log in. You can also log in with your Google or Microsoft account. So that's something that we just rolled out here in the last couple of weeks. Similar to how you can log in with CT6 with your Google or Microsoft account. You can also log into the admin. So just one less password to remember. So so I'm going to log in here. And this is going to give me some of the similar options that you've seen in admin on the existing registration site, but we'll kind of walk through some of the differences here. So these links up here are just going to be to the different, to the login screen or the event selection or the group invitation. This is something new that we'll probably follow up with another webinar, kind of talking through how that works here in the future. But what we're going to focus on right now is the customize option. So we'll go ahead and select that. And you can see here, there's some different colors, basically all these different colors that I can update. And so each of these are linked to different parts of the site. And if you want to have a kind of a reference guide for what's going to, what does this color change? Part of it you can go through and just change it and see kind of what it looks like. But on our support site, there's an article that's just titled "How do I customize my site?" So you can go check that out. Just kind of walking through the same thing we are doing here. But this screenshot kind of shows, it links each color to what it's named here on the site. So my header background color is here. So if I update that, that's where this part of the screen is going to update. So just where my header's at. So this is a nice reference guide to be able to just see, when you're updating a color, what are you actually changing on the site. So so we'll go ahead and I'll just update a few of these here. So pretty straightforward. So you can just click on select the color. You can put in a hex number if you have a specific branding guide that you use that has some specific colors, or you can just choose any color of the rainbow. So I can do you can go all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'll just use a similar blue here. On my other side I had kind of a blue that I used there, and then you can also you can go through and update these as needed to kind of match what your marketing site looks like, and be able to customize that. So that's an option to be able to do that. You can also update the font family that's used, and so this uses Google fonts, and so this one's Roboto is kind of a standard Google font, which is the basic for it. You can go in, and if you have a font that you want to use that's different, you can update that to basically just change the name, from Roboto to another Google font, and then save it, and then it would update there. So Yep. The next option too is, right now, basically by default, we're just going to add this, the name of your company here at the top, which is pretty boring. So we want to make sure we can brand it for you guys. So I'm going to go here and select Upload Site Banner. And I'm going to go here to have a one that I can use here. Site Banner. Let's see, all kinds of stuff. Well, got it pulled up at one point. Anyways, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so basically, I had this pulled up, but it does not like me right now. So I will see if I can drop this in here real quick. Yeah, so basically what you can do is if you see from my yesterday, I added this logo up here. So that's something that you guys would be able to do. So I'm going to find this for me right here. And then we'll go back here, upload site banner. I don't know if your computer is anything like mine, where you have 1 million files everywhere. There we go. So yeah, basically you're gonna upload the image there, and then you can crop it. I'm just gonna have this be the full size, and then crop that, and then upload it, and then that's gonna add the image up here at the top for me. So yep. So we'll go ahead and do that there. And so then once I hit save, that should add it for me. Yep, there we go. Obviously, I kind of mismatched the background color. We'll see what did I have on this one. We'll make it match. For continuity's sake. So yeah. So on here, yeah, we'll save that. That'll blend in for me. Yeah, so pretty straightforward to add that there. The one thing is, since it's a mobile first site, this is designed for your phone. So if I do, stretch this down, there's not a ton of room for that site banner, but you can definitely brand that to put in your logo. So a couple of the more advanced options are this custom CSS and custom JavaScript. And so this allows you to, basically we're giving you the options kind of for the main things here. But if there are, kind of specific things you want to show or hide, or, you want to change a color on something, on a more specific screen, contact support, and we can help you, find what the CSS to be able to update that is. So this, again, just an easier way to do that. But, before any of those changes, we have to kind of come through us, but we can help get you pointed in the right direction to update the CSS if needed. So there's two warnings here. These are basically for most of the time your customers won't run into this, but basically it's a content field that only shows up when you have your cookies disabled. But in order to have your cookies disabled, or enabled to edit this content field, you'd have to have your cookies enabled. So basically it's on this screen to be able to update. You can update these if you need to, but probably won't need to. So I would just leave them like that. So cool. Yeah, so we're gonna, yeah, so we updated our site here. So we're gonna go back here. There's a link up here in the top to view admin. So if you ever need to get back to the admin screen, you can always select that link. The next step in our process is to go, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna go jump back here real quick. We customize our site, and then yeah, the next one is going to be updating our content fields. So we'll jump back over here to our site admin, and you can see up here at the top, we have our red bar that shows us that we're logged in. We have the edit content option. So similar to the existing registration site, I can just select that, and then as I go through the site, I can look and see which fields that I can update. So as you can see here too, there's a lot more sites that you're able to, or basically labels that you're able to update. On the existing registration site, we're always kind of adding different ones that you could. Basically, we started kind of with the default that everything is editable in terms of the labels and the wording on there. So even on this on the sign in screen, we have sign in or sign up. Like if you want to change that to say something else, you can update that. This one says your email. Maybe you want to say your email address. You can update those. This one says getting started. So all these are you're able to change and modify as needed. So I'm just gonna log in here first, and we'll go into our account we created yesterday. And the other thing too, since I am logged in as an admin, it's not going to ask for a password, so I can kind of skip that step there to be able to go in. So similar to the existing registration site. So let's go in, and I'll come here to registrations, and we'll see kind of what we can edit. So and then we'll go to let me look here. Yeah, so you can see here, we have this option here, maybe for invite attendee. I can go in here and select that, and this is where I can go in and update this as needed. So if I needed to change this, basically it's just going to be inline. I want to say invite attendees instead of just one attendee. I could change some of the formatting on this, so I can make it bold. I can underline it, whichever I need to do. If I need to add some HTML to it, I can view the HTML. And then, basically all I'm going to do here is select save, and then that's going to publish it for me. So now I have it set to invite attendees. You can also, there's some options here as well to show or hide. So, if I wanted to hide, this option, I could do that on here and then go like that. So just an easy way to be able to do that. So if I hide my content, then it should show this. Yep, it's just going to show my invite attendees section. So that's a common one that we know you guys have requested in the past for group registrations is to be able to hide that. So the other thing too, we can show. I could show you with content fields is if I go back here. I'm going to go back here to view admin, and then just on the event selection screen, and I'll show you some of those. So when I go to select to register my children, and I'm going to edit the content, over here on the filters, you can see that those also have some options to show or hide. So maybe you don't, this is basically the division type is going to show up here. Maybe you have a better term for that. You want to update that, or maybe you don't want people to filter on that. You can hide that option there for you. So one of the questions too that came up yesterday was with location. It wasn't showing up on the filters. Basically that was because I just had one location set up, so it didn't show it as a filter. Once I have multiple locations, then that is an option for a filter. So so then basically you can go through here and as what I'd recommend during your testing is to go through with the edit content fields on, and then you can go through and see the different things that you want to update. So you can first name, last name, birthday, grade, all those kinds of things you're able to change. So the other thing to know about content fields as well is since it's a new site and there's some different processes, the content fields that you have set up in the existing registration site aren't, we didn't move any of those to the new registration site. So if you have certain things for like your medical form, you want to update those, basically you just need to copy and paste those in to be able to update that. We're trying to think through the best way to handle that scenario, and basically just landed on we're probably we could get close, but we're probably gonna miss something along the way, or it's gonna map to the wrong thing or something like that. So basically if you have done customization in the existing registration site, moving that over would be one of the things that we need to do before you go live. So basically just the idea is that you guys are going to know the best spot where those are going to go in the new site. So awesome. So the next step after that, talked about updating the content fields, is updating documentation. So this is going to be if you have any documentation that you have that you send out for your customers would be, obviously updating that for the new site. One thing that we recommend is basically just having some of those simple questions that people ask of, how do I reset my password, or how do I how do I log in with Google or something like that. They're pretty straightforward, and the majority of people are going to be able to figure those things out. But then just having that documentation for those people that are struggling, can really help reduce phone calls and emails and different things like that. So those common scenarios that people run into, and then also too, just with this, since it is a new site and it's something different, even just showing just a short 1 to 2 minute video of someone going through registration and saying, hey, we're super excited for you to come this year, and just kind of walking through some of the options, can help just give people comfortability and be able to get through the site without having to contact your team. So so if you have existing documentation, this step would be to update those. If you don't, I'd recommend creating some. You can use kind of what we have on our support site kind of as a starting point, and then maybe swap out some screenshots. But that's a great way to kind of just give people the resources they need to be able to help themselves. So, and then the last step is going to be communicating with your clients. Should say customers, but we'll go with clients for now. So basically, how you figuring out how you're going to announce this to your families and your customers. So we'll jump in here. I'll show you how to generate the pre-filter links. But basically, this would be just coming up with the communication of, hey, we have a new registration site. Here's how you use it. Here's a link to a short video. And then here's some of the advantages. Different things like that. And then also to with that, you could add a link to pre-filtered link there. And then also to, depending on kind of how you're, if you're launching to everyone, then you'd want to add the links to your marketing site. The one thing, I mentioned yesterday, but I just want to reiterate today as well, is basically there's, you can run the registration sites side by side. There's a few features that, that aren't available, that are available in CT6 registration site that won't show up on the existing site. But you'd still be able to go through, for one being example, social sign-on, that's only on the new site. It's not on the old site. So, there would be a few differences there, but, it's all pointed to the same database. So if someone registered on one and registered on the other, it's still going to show as a registration. So, yeah. Awesome. So we'll jump back over here and show you how to generate pre-filter links. So I'm going to go back here to view admin. I'll just turn off my content fields there. And so again, under admin, we're going to go here to pre-filter links. And so this is going to, the filter page, I'm just going to choose event selection. And then these are similar to the options that you have on the existing site to generate pre-filters. One option here is to ask who is registering. So what this will do is, if you want them to go to this main screen, so this, who are you registering screen with these, just leave that blank. If you want to go straight to the event selection screen, then you would set, and you could set the registration type. So if I just do child, it's going to go straight to that second screen and not ask the questions on one or the other, like what their age is and stuff like that. So it's basically, it kind of skips that first filtering page. So I'd probably recommend leaving that off just because it, adding that little bit of information can be helpful. So, but if you had a family camp, basically you could just have them go straight to that screen if you wanted to. Yes, we can add dates, gender, location. So I'll just go here. I'm going to do one for ocean view. And then, you know, as you can see here, there's the different options for, you know, organization and cost center, you know, all the different things to be able to create them. You know, if I have multiple ones, I can do ocean view, and then maybe, you know, I only have 2, but I can do bear trail. So you can just add additional ones by selecting the option there. So that allows you to do those. So I'll just do ocean view for now. And then what I'm going to do here is select generate link. And here at the bottom, it's going to add the link for me. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just test that out. So that's going to take me here. So you can see here, because my family event is at a different location, so it's not going to show that one. So so that's my pre-filter that I can use, and that's the location is for Ocean View. So yeah, so pretty straightforward in terms of creating pre-filters. And then this is obviously, yeah, what you'd use to send an email or you know, post on your marketing site. So awesome. So yeah, so those are kind of really just the steps to go through to I'll jump back here to the start. So just to review one last time. So kind of these 6 steps are you know, just a way to kind of wrap your head around what do I do to you know, to launch my site. And so yeah, just going through each of these and spend a little bit of time coming up with that plan is going to really help make your launch go well. So the other thing too, just want to throw a shout out for the support site. You know, if you guys have questions on kind of how this all works, is you can go here to no, go back here to the home screen, and there's a how do I get started using CT6 Registration Site. So this basically what we've gone over today is going to be here as well. So you can review that. You know, there's some links to some other you know, to these articles. You know, how do I update my content fields? You know, those kinds of things. So the other thing too is if you do have questions that come up, there's an option here to submit an issue, and this goes allows you to submit the issue through the support portal. It just helps us, you know, gather the information that we need to help you out. So you can go ahead and select that, and it's gonna take you there. If you haven't logged in the support portal, basically you can go through the reset password process the first time, and it will allow you to log in. So it's if you that's basically the email address that you've used to submit something to support in the past. So yep, so basically this is gonna, you know, ask me the name of the issue, what's your issue, different things like that. And so that'll help us help you guys out. So awesome. So what we're gonna do now is I just have a short poll just asking kind of, you know, obviously this can change, but you know, just kind of with what you know now about the registration site, kind of when you are thinking about starting to use it. You know, there's not a hard deadline where you have to switch tomorrow or anything like that. We want you guys to be able to choose when you launch that, but just kind of helps us give us an idea of what people are thinking in terms of doing that. So I'll go ahead and launch that. And if you guys want to just spend a little bit of time, yeah, just answer that question. You know, obviously if you don't know, I probably should have said, I have no idea. That would be good an option. So yeah, and then what we'll do is jump into some questions. So yeah, you can answer the poll, and then if you have any questions, throw them in there as well. So and we'll get these here in a minute. Good stuff. Looks like we have a fairly good mix of people wanting to start here soon, and then actually I can just show you this. You guys can see it in real time. Maybe you can see this as well, but yeah, basically some that want to get started here soon. You know, sometime, you know, beginning of the year. You know, some later in the summer. We do have a few clients that are using it, and so that's great. If you guys want to jump on board and get going. Checking it out, we'd love to have you on board and start using it. So awesome. So what we're going to do now is we'll transition it into some Q&A time. There's a few that we've answered, but we'll go through these ones. So the first one is, what's the best preferred image pixel resolution for the logo? 300 by 100, 720 by 250. So I'll have to look and see what that is. Basically, it's going to scale. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that one.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
We actually do have a little bit of insight from that. From
Okay.
one of the developers, said that currently we're looking at a minimum height of 50, but the upload will scale the width to match the ratio of your selection. So as long as your height is at least 50 pixels, from there we're going to try to make it look right for you, even though it may not be we don't have a preferred resolution at this time yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then, the next question is, where can you edit or add instructional text? So that would be with the content fields, where you can go in and add those. So yeah, so that's where you could add in the instructional text. So you can just add a pre-filter, or sorry, edit, update a content field for that. So. And then when will the admin sites be up? So they, so you can log into your admin site now. So it's just, either sb-events.circuitry.com, your company/admin, or, just events for that. So, yeah. And if you're having issues with that, you can submit an issue to support, and we can take a look if you're not able to access your admin site. So. Is there a date in the future where when we must switch to the new reg site? Yeah, so that we haven't announced that at this point. Probably, I would say by this time next year we'll have everyone moved over. So there's not a hard date to move over, but eventually we'll want to get everyone moved over. Part of that will have to do with getting the rest of the functionality in. So essentially, that was one other thing I wanted to cover too, is what's not in the registration site. So there's a FAQs article on the site, and basically it kind of goes through what new features are available. So this is helpful for your branding if you want to kind of highlight some of the new features, and then also this goes through kind of what's not available. So some of the sections that aren't, HR portal, donations, web store, reservations. So those are kind of the big sections that we haven't added. So really, until those are completed, you'd be able to use the existing registration site. So yeah, so there's not going to be a hard out. So I'll amend what I said about this time next year, because we'll have to see kind of on the process of when we get those moved over. But yeah, eventually there will be a date, but we'll give you guys plenty of notice on when that's going to be. So there's a couple other sections in here as well, that if you want to look through of the different things that aren't in there. These are our features that we are working on getting moved over. Kind of coming up with decisions on kind of the plan for those. But if you see something that see something down here that you need. Those will get you an update on those. So, but yeah. So let's get the next one here. When we launch events, will those registrants that have already completed medical, additional questions, terms and conditions, and uploads stay with that registrant? So, yep. Yeah. So basically the all the data on the back end is the same. It's basically we're just using a different way to look at it and access it. So. Yeah, so if they filled something out on the existing registration site, it's going to show up on the on CT6 registration site. So you'll be able to see those on there. So and then then there's a couple. I'll just go over. Just some of the answered questions. You guys may have seen this, but we'll just review them as well here real quick. And if you guys do have other ones, feel free to jump on and add those. Can grade be hidden? So this would be depending on how you have things set up. You should be able to hide. Like if you don't ask for grade on any event, then they won't show up on there. Oh, will these, this is a good question. Will these, the one from yesterday and the webinars be available to watch later? Yes, so that they are available on our or on our support site. So if you go here to just support.circuitry.com, you can see the first one from yesterday is posted. So it's just here under demo follow-up. So you can take a look there. And you can experience that again if you'd like. So, yep. So there's the link to the video there. And so yeah, you can pass that out to anyone else on your team, or if you want to watch it again. So we'll again post this once it's all done. We'll get this one updated. So, yep. And that was the other one there. So. Awesome. So any other questions? We'll just give a couple more minutes here. If you do have any questions that come up, obviously there's kind of a lot to go through, and you may come up with more questions as we go. So feel free to, submit that to support, and we can help you out and go from there. So awesome. Well, looks like we don't have any other ones coming in, so we'll go ahead and wrap up just a couple minutes early. But thank you again for joining us today, and we're excited to let you guys dive in on the new CT6 registration site and start using it, and join the others that are already jumping on and their customers are using the new functionality. So thanks so much for attending, and oh, we got one more question. Average configuration time. So this basically, kind of what we walked through today. I would say, updating your, customizing your site to match, your colors. I mean, that maybe takes 20 minutes, half an hour, just depending on kind of what you have, maybe even less if you're really fast. Maybe even 10 minutes. And then going through your content fields, that may take a little bit longer. Basically, what I would recommend is just having both sites up and kind of walk through registration and update those kind of one at a time. In terms of kind of coming up with your plan and kind of how you're going to communicate that may take a little bit longer. But that's something you can go through and kind of work through with your team, especially if you're looking at a smaller group of people. Then I imagine that process would be a little bit quicker. But yeah, really the goal is to have, give you these tools to be able to set this up for yourself and be able to kind of run with it on your own. So last question is, what about CT5? When will CT6 completely replace CT5? That is, we're continuing to work on that and be able to, have everything live in CT6. So we don't have a specific date on that yet, but as that gets closer, we'll let you guys know to be able to plan for that. So awesome. Well, I think we are good to go, and thank you again all for attending. And if you want to review this later, it'll be on the sports site, and you can pass it along. So thanks so much, and we will see you guys later.